He get free, Jay.
In marrying a free and indentured servant, she could win her own freedom.
There you go. Boom. She
Um,
walked away, rode
so
off into the midnight. And what you have there, ladies and gentlemen, is a quick, I'm not done with
dirty
y'all yet.
scam,
A quick
quick and
load.
dirty land scam.
Man, that's what you got here, man. What you got is when what you got is what happens when Freemasons go to war with each other. Right here, exactly. You have a old school mafioso style turf warfare for power, land, and money to get
Yep.
people back in the day. The number one thing you could do to get people really in trouble was to get them excommunicated from the church. People
Yep.
found guilty from witchcraft were excommunicated by the decree of Samuel Paris, right? But it's funny because after they repented and they came back out, a lot of them were let back into the church. And what you have here is what I would say almost a Chicago style way of doing business when two warring factions fighting for power manipulated the church, manipulated the emotions, hid behind a smoke cloud of fake witch
Dude, it
trials.
was it was brilliant.
It's actually
It was
very smart.
brilliant.
It's actually very,
I
very
mean, think
smart.
about it. The Putnam family,
Yeah,
they found them a minister that was amenable to doing the thing they wanted to do.
yeah.
He was from nowhere. He was from
Desperate.
nowhere close.
Down on his luck.
He was from nowhere close. No one knew who he was.
Nope.
He
Showed
went
up.
to Harvard,
Yep.
went to Harvard, came from a modest family of good standing, right? But these people were known as nonconformists
Yep.
in England, right? Kind of rebels. But then he went to Barbados and the hurricane completely decimated his sugar plantation. He's got no plenty and no money and no place to go. The only place he's familiar with is Massachusetts.
Yep.
So he heads back there. Wow, he just kind of stumbles into an opportunity to own some land
Yep.
with the promise to own more. But see, here's what sucks. And this is my crazy historical theory about the whole thing. I think it backfired
Really?
because because if you look at the aftermath, right, and you dig a little here's what I love about stories. Everybody loves the story, but they don't like the context. Right? What happened a little bit before and what happened a little bit after, right? Because a little bit before, the dam broke. This means war. We're going to sue you, but then we're going to ruin you too. Because we've got this guy, and he's got this slave who's willing to say whatever to get her freedom and go be with her fiance. And the way to get her freedom is to spend a little time in jail. Until this all blows over. If she says the right words at the right time and names the right people. So they think they're going to swoop in, right? And just grab a couple people. But then things get out of hand. Because at one point during the trials, Paris says, we can't use the touch method. Right? Do you know what the touch method was?
No.
Did you run across that?
Tell
Where
everybody
they
that.
touch. So during the Salem Witch Trials, they defaulted to this. Late in the trials, they defaulted to this thing called the touch method, right?
Pure
Where
science. Pure genius.
pure genius. If the person who's having the fit, right? If the witch touches them, the fit will stop. That's not completely subjective at all, right? You can't rig that in any way, not even a little bit. Nah, that couldn't go wrong. So during this is happening, Thomas Paris is actually telling them not to do it this way because I think it escalated far out of what they expected, right?
Right.
Because then all this shitstorm starts happening after all this shit concludes and these people go back to their homes and everybody's kind of like, oh, you mother pluckers. I know exactly what you did. And so then the shit started to roll back downhill and it kind of ruined Paris and it kind of ruined the Putnams a bit because they have started a war and too many people got caught up in it. And so it came back to bite them in the ass later on. Right? So I think it got out of hand. I think there was a little ploy right, to get him some land and get some people out of the way. And then they started touching each other, and the hysteria hit, and everybody started getting crazy, and it got out of control. It's my theory. I'm sticking to it.
God, these people were so stupid. These people were so dumb, man. I mean, I
But it was a brilliant scheme, though, from the beginning.
About, yeah, man. Like, so here's my theory. Here's my theory, right? That's actually a pretty good theory, right? And if you ever want to lose hope, if you ever needed any type of evidence to lose hope in college educations, a lot of those people probably graduated from Harvard. And so, and just so, like, I think so did a couple other people that are in the press right now graduated from Harvard. So, yeah. Anyways, here's what I think happened, right? Sugarcane, plantation, hurricane, all that's fact, man. The business is wiped out or whatever. He drifts back in. He did go to Harvard. He comes in or whatever. He's looking for it. Dam breaks. I don't think that dam broke on purpose. I think the Porters struck first, right? Thought that they could ruin them financially.
You don't think it was an accident, is what you're saying?
Nah.
The dam?
I think so. I mean, it's very convenient. It works out. So for example, if you and I,
they weren't really directly in competition, though.
Well,
like here's where I think of when I think of, like, did they do it on purpose? I think about what would be the gain.
Well, here's where I think the gain is, right? I think they were probably already looking. They probably were already looking to position themselves to have more influence to put somebody at the top of the church. Putnam this guy Harris just showed up, in my opinion, and the Putman's like, hey, look, they hit us first, we'll follow suit, but hey, you know what? This is a good chance, right? And because they were stacking the elder board or whatever they were doing back there, the Porters were.
The town council.
Yeah, and they were stacking the board. And I think the Putnams came in, and the accusing them of witchcraft is brilliant. Is absolutely brilliant, right? And this guy that was down on his luck, man, had no money or whatever, perfect patsy or perfect mouthpiece for it, perfect credentials. He just got in town.
Nothing.
He's got no reason to pick a side, right?
No. Well, he picks the side that's going to profit him the most.
Well, they approached him and they paid him.
He went from,
he was
they went from he went from having no money and no land of his own to owning his own land again. The
Putnams put him up, right? I don't think Tituba or whatever her name was his slave. I think she was more likely his lover, because if you're down on your if you're down on your luck and you're broke and you got a slave, why are you not selling her? She had to make the trip. You brought her back with you. So anyways,
you don't sell a slave when you're down on money.
Well, so for me, I'm thinking that she was treated.
Dude.
She was treated very, very, very well.
Oh yeah, she was probably treated well. She was. Here's the other thing, right. And this is something I just thought about. Yeah. You take a woman from a rich sugar plantation, and I'm talking about any woman. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry, sweetheart, all of y'all, but it's true. Women, I follow the Chris Rock philosophy on this. Women do not take a step down in comfort.
No.
Feel me?
Oh, I know that. I know somebody that's going through that right now. Right now.
Right? Yeah. Or they don't take a step down in comfort.
Yeah.
Yeah. They get mad about that. And I get it.
Not me.
We don't like it either. Women have a tendency to have a certain kind of reaction when that happens. There's a little bit of desperation that becomes palpable. And I can understand that, because women are in vulnerable positions when their life takes that kind of turn. It's specifically vulnerable.
Yeah, that's why
I don't think it's unfounded.
That's why that's the best advice I give people, man, is that never date a woman who doesn't respect your wife. That's rule number one right there. That's rule number one right there, right?
Definitely, yeah. So, that's very good advice.
So anyways,
but that gives her more motivation to go along with the plot. Is she came from this big, huge sugar plantation where she was the house servant in this nice big mansion, and then all of a sudden she's in freaking Salem Village?
Yeah, I know. Cold, wet.
That's a step down.
Religious, freaking person over your head. But
so his wife passed not too long after that too.
Nothing strange about that at all. And so, anyways, I think this was all, and I guarantee you they were all Freemasons. I guarantee it. This is all.
You think?
100%, 100%.
I think the Puritans were kind of against that, weren't they?
No, 100. I guarantee you, bro.
I have to dig deep on that one. Yes. I'm curious now.
Do your homework on that and go back and find that too.
Subscribe now and turn on the notifications to join us on this extraordinary journey into the unknown.